Greetings to you, Internet. It is I, Sir Spicer, and we are here with a new series. Actually, the first series for the channel. We are playing some Darkest Dungeon, and this is kind of a roguelike dungeon explorer game, and it's got some really unique elements that we'll kind of talk about here. I'm going to go ahead and start a new game with Sir Spicer here, and we'll get going. So, some cool, unique things about this game while the story kind of loads and you can follow along, the subtitle should be on, is that this game has kind of a unique dark setting. Everything is just kind of dark and dreary and shitty, and the game just has this real kind of, just negative feel to it, but it's not a bad thing. It's actually really cool. Everything about the game, from the classes to the status effects, everything is just kind of real, just kind of shitty and grimy, and it always feels like it's a constant uphill battle. I've only played like the first couple of minutes of it, but from what I've played, it seems really, really awesome. From what I can gather from the story up to this point is basically one of your relatives was exploring this underground area where this mansion is, and he kind of inadvertently unleashed some kind of H.P. Lovecraft-esque eldritch horror, and now you've been tasked to try to destroy it or banish it and kind of make the land a better place. So we're going to kind of jump right into it here. I'll kind of explain how some of the game mechanics work as we go. And I hope you guys will enjoy going on this adventure into darkness and madness with me. So one of the things that kind of is one of the main effects, or not effects, what's the word I'm looking for? Main mechanics of this game is the light. So up here on the very top there's a torch meter, and the higher the torch meter is, the lighter it is, and you have a greater chance of scouting and surprising monsters. But the lower the light gets, you actually get higher drop rates and better loot. So it's kind of it's always a balance of this whole game is always a balance of making things bad, but not bad enough to make it so that you just get wiped out. There's always a benefit of and risk to making things worse, but those risks are very real. And it is a roguelike game, so the advantage of that is, everything that you do is very rewarding because everything is a struggle. But at the same time, you can spend a lot of effort into a character or into, getting specific loot or whatever, and then one bad move can wipe a character or make you lose some stuff and can completely negate all that work that you've done, which also makes the game feel good when you are able to accomplish good things. So the movement in this game is pretty simple. You have just back and forth as you move through, and down here on the map you kind of click to move ahead, and then you have to move through the hallways, and each one of these squares on the hallway are potential encounters. So they could be monsters or traps or treasure, and you kind of just move through, and they're kind of like random encounters. And the battling is turn-based, and it's very strategy-esque. Depending on this position of your characters, they have different moves available to you, recognized by these dots down here. The dots on the left, the yellow dots, I guess, are the position they have to be in to use it. And then the red dots on the right are the positions that they can attack of those enemies. And there's 4 positions per side. So we're going to have this highwayman go ahead and slash this guy with his dagger, causing 4 damage and making him bleed, and bleed makes him take damage every turn. And then we're going to have this crusader go ahead and slash him, killing him. And you get loot and stuff after every battle, just like most kind of dungeon crawler games. You're exploring, getting treasure, getting loot, and all that good stuff. And then there's these random things that you can search, which can either have positive or negative effects that you'll see as we go through. One of the other things I really like about this game is the narrator. I don't know if any of you have ever played the game Bastion, but he doesn't sound like the Bastion narrator, but he just gives me that feeling where he kind of just adds a really cool, awesome kind of feel to the game with his narration. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and focus on this big guy. 6 damage of slashing, causing a bleed. And then we're going to attempt to stun him. So if you can stun a character, you basically make them skip their next turn. He resisted that, so that's unfortunate. Sick dodge by the group, dodging those bullets like actual pros. Hitting me with a punishment. 3 damage, and see what that was stress. So this bottom meter below their health is their stress level, and if their stress level gets to max, bad things happen. And they can actually even die of things like heart attack. So you have 2 things you're managing, health and stress. So we're going to go with the double shot, hitting both enemies since he's already bleeding, and we can put some damage on that guy in the back. He did the same thing to us, causing a slight debuff. So you can see he's taking damage every turn from the bleed. 3 damage with his whip. My guy's also bleeding. And you can get items like bandages and stuff that can stop your bleeding. So we're still going to just try to focus down this first guy. We kind of need to get through him so I can get to that guy in the back. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with a slash, because that'll put him hurt enough so that he'll die from the bleed. So they take the damage at the beginning of their turn, which means he will actually not be able to take an action. Which is great, because then he can't attack us. And then we can focus on him now because he's close enough. So we got a bunch of loot here. We've completed the quest, which means that we can go back to town whenever we want. But we're actually going to continue exploring because we have this chest here that we're going to try to open. I'm going to have him open it because he has more health in case it's trapped, which it is. And he was poisoned with blight. But that's not that big of a deal because we're already going to go ahead and leave. And then you have your end of the round synopsis. Tells you, what you got. These things down here, these heirlooms, or heirlooms, are used to upgrade certain buildings in the town, which we'll be getting to in a second. And then this is kind of like your level up screen. Sometimes when characters finish a level, they will acquire traits, and most of the traits are terrible, but some of them can be good. But no one really got any traits on that one, which is actually a good thing because like I said, most of the time when you get a trait, it's something bad. So let's see what we got here. So it just kind of tells us, hey, these people are now level 1. And these are our quest goals. And as you can see, there is a lot of them. And we're going to try to do some of these, as we're going through the game. So here's kind of the main area. I'll go into kind of a little bit of detail. So we have the graveyard here. This is when heroes die. They show up here, so you can kind of remind yourself of all your failures. This here is just a way to replay some of the cutscenes. And then over here, the stagecoach is where you can recruit new people. So we're going to go ahead and grab both of these people because we need 4 to go embarking. And they have different abilities. We have like a plague doctor and like a cleric, and then we have this highwayman and our crusader. And what we're actually going to do here is I want to rename them, and I'm trying to remember how to do that. I might have to do that on the next episode because I'm not sure where I have to put them to rename them. I may not have that ability yet. Yeah, I don't think I can. Well, I can upgrade the stagecoach. Let's go ahead and do that so that we can get more people and a higher roster right off the bat. So when I upgraded these things, now more of them will show up, and I can have a greater total number of actual heroes in the reserve. Because as you'll see, as we do missions, it takes its toll on your characters, and so sometimes they have to spend time to rest. So we're going to do this mission. It's the only one currently that we can do. It's a level 1 mission. You can see over there on the left. It gives you a slight description of what it is. And the goal is we have to explore 90% of the rooms. And it kind of gives you a little bit of rewards. Like, these are the things that you can get. So down here, we're going to place our other two guys. We're going to have our Plague Doctor in the back, and we're going to put our Cleric in the middle here. And then you have to buy provisions. So this is the other part of the game that requires a little bit of strategy. So you have to feed your people in the mission, and you have to keep light going with the torches. And you can also buy like bandages and other things to cure certain effects. But the tricky part is the items that you buy disappear at the end of the mission, so they don't stockpile. So if you buy too much, you're going to waste them, and you waste gold because all this costs money. So the trick is to buy just enough supplies to get you through the mission without buying too many, but also not buying too few so that you end up starving in the dungeon or whatever, and then you get yourself in a really bad, shitty position. So we're going to take 8 food and then 7 torches. I think is pretty good. We're actually going to buy a shovel in case we need it, and I'll explain that when we get to that point. And then we're starting, and we're delving deep, deep into the ruins. And again, so our goal here is just to explore 90% of the rooms in this area to complete the mission and get those rewards. You can abandon a mission early, which has a lot of negative effects on your heroes, but it, can prevent them from dying. So kind of a neat start here, a little altar in the background, hopefully a good sign of what's to come. We're going to move forward cautiously as a party down this dark and dank hallway as stress incurs. Extra torch here, that's good, that might help. So we have some, we'll have a lot of torches to use here. Pretty uneventful hallway, no bad guys. 2 skeletons. So as I do this fight, so see, here I can buff people and I can heal people in his current position. He can't, that's all he has available to him, which isn't great, but, it's not bad. So we're going to go ahead and buff everybody, or buff my highwayman to make him faster. And let's see, we're going to use a grape shot to hit both skeletons. Boom, 5 damage to both, brings them to less than half. And then here, we have another healer, and she has a couple of attacks. I think Judgment's one of the best moves in the game, because it does damage and heals her, which is super awesome. And then we're going to finish off this skeleton with a Mighty Crusader Slash. He actually does extra damage, usually to undead creatures. Pick up our gold, and we're going to have our highwayman open the chest. Alright, contents are yours. Another shovel, some loot. And then we are going to continue on, going forward. So I try to see, now this is what shovels are for. So this is debris, and if you don't have a shovel, everybody takes damage and stress from clearing it. But if you have a shovel, you can clear it without any of the negative effects. That's why I usually buy one, because you usually run into at least one rubble pile in the thing. So we were surprised, which switches the roster around when they attack us. Which kind of is annoying here. But we should be alright. So I'm going to go ahead and slash this guy, causing a bleeding effect, hopefully. He resisted. So all I really have now is a buff, so I think I'm going to throw the buff on the Crusader, making him faster. So he hit us with a stress spell, which makes our stress level go up. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does increase your stress level. Clubbed in the face for 4 damage. So I think we're going to go ahead and hit them with a Judgment spell. Actually, we're going to hit them with a stunning spell. See if we can maybe stun them. Perfect. Keep him from stressing out our party. This guy needs to move forward because he's pretty useless where he was. So that stopped him from taking his turn. So we know this front skeleton still has to take his turn. So I'm going to attack him, trying to take him out of the fight. So now he doesn't get to go. And I'm going to try to stun this guy here. So if he doesn't get to move, that completely negated that enemy turn, which is great, which means I don't take very much damage. So in this position, he has a lot more abilities that he can use. So we're probably going to keep him, I think, in this position. Let's see. Let's hit him with some blinding gas. maybe it'll stun him. Perfect. So now they're going to lose their complete turn. Let's take this opportunity to heal, I think, keeping our health up. So the healing skills are actually pretty minimal compared to the damage skills. So you can't just heal damage all the time. Like, the amount of damage you heal definitely does not outweigh the damage you take, but it can be enough sometimes to kind of keep them even. Alright, let's hit them with some plague grenades, which will poison them if we're lucky enough. There we go. We got a blight. Take some damage from that. And I think we should be able to finish them off here with a couple attacks. Boom! 9 damage to that one. And we're going to hit this one with a judgment. Crit! 11 damage. And so we got through that battle with, you know, not a lot of negative effects here. We're going to switch our people around. Kind of get them set up here. There we go. We're going to use a torch to kind of light up the room a little bit. And continue on. Like I said, I could let it get darker for better loot rewards, but in the long run, I don't know if it's actually worth it, because all it takes, man, is to be surprised in the wrong situation, and things can get bad really quick. So what just happened there is he has a negative trait that makes him want to steal things. So what he just did there was he took those items for himself, which means I didn't get any of them. And there are a lot of negative effects, and that's just an example of some of the shitty things that can happen with your characters. Later on, you do get the ability, I think, to remove some of them, but it costs quite a bit. Alright, we are going to start with a blinding grenade, I think, to try to stun that guy. Perfect. We're going to hit him with the grape shot. Pow! Oh. Apparently, he needs a little practice there with his aim. Let's go with this dazzling light. See if we can stun another guy. Wow. Just a whole lot of missing going on. Hit him with the holy papers. Nice. I think that's one of, like, the best moves in the game. Oh, crit. And he's bleeding. Not good. Slashed our plague doctor for 8 damage. Not bad, not bad. Hurting a little bit, but could be worse. Could definitely be worse. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hit this bat guy with a plague grenade. So he'll start taking damage every turn. He's going to try to stress out our cleric. So as you can see, her stress level's going up. Second try on the multi-shot. There we go. Much better. So now, let's see. We are going to hit the back row guy to finish him off. Unless he dodges. Oh, cutting my highwayman. Causing... Oh, he resisted the bleed effect. Another graveyard slash. So you can see this battle's going way worse than the other ones. We should be able to kill these two guys with the holy papers. Awesome. And then that should allow us to finish off this last guy. We're going to hit him with the pistol. And cap him in the dome. Grab our loot and move on. Let's have our cleric open the chest. Just in case it's trapped. So she was poisoned, but I have an antidote here. So I can use the antidote to cure her poison so she won't take any damage from that. So kind of having those items and knowing how they work is also really important, because she would have taken damage every couple seconds. So it's getting pretty dark. We're going to use a torch, 2 torches here to keep it lit up. Another trap gets sprung. Stress, a bunch of damage. I think he's alright for now, though. We'll just keep an eye on our health. You can eat food to recover your health, but you do need to save some of the food for when people get hungry. Because if you, if the hunger comes up and you don't have enough food to feed people, really bad things happen. But we just got a massive amount of food from that chest. So I think we're going to go ahead and spin some of this food that we just got. And kind of have people recover their health a little bit. There we go. Combine those two to free up some room. Use another torch. So there's the hunger. So you have to spend 1 food per person to eat, which recovers a little bit of their health. But if I didn't have enough food to do that, they would have all taken damage and they would have all gotten stressed out, which is you know, pretty bad. So going in here to the second to last room. So that'll be once I get to this room, that'll be 90%, and at that point I'll be able to complete the mission. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and use some of my items here because I'm not going to be able to keep them anyways. Use a shovel to clear this. And then get into this room. Because like I said, the supplies that you buy, you don't keep them. So quite a bit of enemies here. I think we're going to use our grape shot again. Pow! Hit those first 3 guys. Put on some damage. 5 damage from the crossbow. Not too bad. Hits us with the tempting goblet, which stresses us out and does damage. It's one of the more powerful enemy moves, I think. I think we're going to go ahead and use Plague Grenade to try to poison these 2 guys in the back. First guy resisted. Let's hit him with the papers. Boom! Doing some decent damage. 3 damage from the axe. Alright, let's see. So I think we're going to take out that middle guy because he hasn't gone yet. So we can keep him from taking his turn. And then this guy's poisoned. So if I can put a little bit more damage on him, like that, he might actually die from the poison. There we go. And now we just have the 2 guys left. I think we're going to hit this guy with the judgment. Oh, and a miss. Missed the judgment. Crossbow bolt to the back. Sweet dodge by the cleric. And I think we're going to try to poison, because he just went. So stunning him right now, I think, is not a good idea. So I think we're going to try to hit him. Actually, yeah, let's try to go ahead and hit this guy with some poison damage. There we go. And if we can drop his health down enough to make it so that he'll die from the poison, we can kill him before his turn comes up. So let's see. I think I will hit him with the Dazzling Light, just because it might stun him. There we go. And that'll make sure that he can't hit us on his turn. Let's pop a cap in his dome for 4 damage. And then we are going to, I think we're going to use a little bit of Battlefield Medicine. It doesn't heal much, but it does cure negative status effects, and even 1 health can make a big difference. These corpses are in the way. Try to blow up some of them to move him closer. Takes some blight damage, and he's stunned. And we should be able to finish him off. Oh, there we go. Alright, grab our loot. So the other thing about taking too many supplies is that if you take a lot of supplies, you don't have as much room to pick up loot. Tress is chapped. He resisted it. Awesome. So we're technically done with the quest, but I think I want to go back and check this other room. Because we have enough supplies to get there. We have enough food to feed everybody if they get hungry again. And we're doing pretty good on health. Our highwayman's a little hurt, but I think I'll be fine. When a character's health drops to 0, they don't necessarily die immediately. They get a status effect, which is called Death's Door, which basically means that they're going to die, and they can be brought out of that state. So it's not super unforgiving where if their health drops to 0, they're just instantly dead. You kind of have a chance to save them, which is great. But I want to check this room just because these are in the beginning stages. I feel like it's really important to try to find everything that you can as far as loot. We surprised our enemy, which means we all get to go first, which is awesome. I think I'm going to drop a heal on our highwayman to keep his health up. There we go. Hit him with the multi-shot. 4 damage to the front. Guy in the back dodged. Let's use our stunning grenade on the crossbow guy. See if we can keep him from shooting us. Awesome. And we'll hit the front guy with the papers. Boom. Almost got them both. Oh, crit. Oh my god, that almost dropped him all the way down. So you can see, like, some characters just don't have as much health as other ones, but I think we'll be okay. Sweet dodge. Whew, that was close. Another multi-shot should kill the first 2 characters. There we go. And then we are going to poison the guy in the back. There we go. Hit him with a judgment, causing more damage. And if we can get one more attack on him, which we may not be able to because he's in the back row. Let's see if that poison kills him. Not quite. So he's stabbing our highwayman just enough to keep him alive. Let's see. We'll do a little battlefield medicine. Because he couldn't make an attack. And then we will go ahead and slash this guy, finishing him off. Alright, awesome. Successful run, I think. Let's go ahead and have him search this, because sometimes they get healed. But that was just loot. And so that's all the rooms now that we've explored. So we're going to go ahead and complete this mission. Take our rewards and head back to town. So we got a pretty good chunk of gold there. Wow. And a couple different heirlooms. So here is the kind of level up screen I was talking about. So these three characters here have new traits. So if we click on it, it opens up. And this one's actually a good one. So he gets 10% scouting chance in the area called the Weld. Which is good. It's not negative, so it's good. Also, nice. 20% less stress in the ruin, so that'll really help. And then here we go. See, that's the bad thing. So we have an automantophobia, which basically makes him more stressful versus human enemies. Which sucks, but I think most of the enemies in the first area are like skeletons and stuff. But they do pop up every once in a while. And here you have severe negative quirks. So it costs more to remove them. But we don't have the place to remove them yet. So we completed our first mission here. Our next one is to defeat the apprentice necromancer, who I think comes up later. So what basically we have to do here is we can see that some characters are really stressed out. So, excuse me, these two characters need to de-stress. And there's two ways to do that. You have the Abbey, which is like religious ways of stress relief. And sometimes people are there taking up certain things, and depending on certain negative quirks, sometimes they can or cannot do certain things. So some people like can't pray because they have a certain trait or whatever. But we're gonna have this guy go here for 1,000 gold to de-stress him, and I think the tavern is just again another way to de-stress people, and we're gonna have her drink her cares away at the tavern. So we only have 2 people, and you need 4, so we need to recruit more here at the stagecoach. We're gonna take the grave. We're gonna take all these guys. The grave robber. I wish I knew how to change their names. And the man-at-arms and the antiquarian. Take all those guys. And then, let's see, we don't have the blacksmith or anything yet, so those all get unlocked later. So we still have our 2 characters here that can go. I'm not sure what this symbol means. I wish I could, like, oh, there we go, right click. So, oh, okay, these are where I switch their abilities. Ah, his name, there we go. So I'm going to rename these guys to characters, give them just some names and stuff like that. If I run out of names, I'll just have to make up some. I want to give them some names of people that I know. And maybe if you guys watch this video and you would like to be named one of these characters, leave a comment or something, and maybe we can add you into the roster, and you can be a part of the adventure, which I think would be really cool. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. Thanks for joining me on this dark, dreary adventure, and we will continue it on the next episode and continue to explore the ruins. So once again, make sure you like this video if you want to support us, and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next episode. Peace out. Right.